had a little bit of difficulty in the beginning. Let's see. Weird. All right, there we go. Karen's here. Both Karens checking in at the same time. Elise from Wheaton, good evening to you. Instagram's checking in. Charlotte, good evening to you. Janet, hello. With the wavy. Arkansas, Charlotte, good evening. Plano, Illinois. Georgia checking in. Becky from Lake Elsinore, good evening to you. Lee, hey, y'all. Lee, did you get my email? Alesha, hello. Carrie's checking in, hello. Colleen from Connecticut, good evening. Trevor from North Carolina, good evening. Good to see you in Kansas City tonight. Good evening. Jeff's checking in. Good evening, sir. Angela says you can't hear me. Can the rest of you hear me? Turn your volume up. Tiffany from Minnesota. Teresa from McLeod, Oklahoma. Chris is here. Good evening to you. Christy from Florida. Carrie says hi. Kathy, hey there. Long Island, Alesha's checking in. Rochelle, hello from Ohio. And Paul, good evening from Florida. So, Diane's here. Good evening, Diane. How are you? Angela, was it the volume on your phone? Don't tell me it was your volume. Linda, hello. Elise, good evening to you. Good. You know, I get that a couple times. I can't hear you. Like, yeah, well, turn your volume up. It's kind of how it works. Janet's here. Christy's here from West Hartford, Connecticut. Lee, good evening. Checking in from Arkansas. Kathy's howdy. Jason checking in from Canada. Fell asleep after his half marathon. Yeah, that's how it works. Those things wear you out, but you gotta. What was it? Was it right at 2 hours? Right? I remember seeing that, Jason. It was right at 2 hours, right? Which is pretty cool. Let's see. I missed a couple here. Anyway, Lee, you'll like the email, so you'll just hang out. You'll figure it out. So let's see. Kathy's here. Christy's here from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I had a chance to go to Johnstown this week, actually, Christy, for work. A few guys from work are headed out to Johnstown, but not able to make that trip. So no Johnstown for me. Cindy from Tennessee, good evening. Maria from New Jersey. Alesha started counting to 1,000 instead of thinking about food. Woo, that's tough work. Yeah, Jason, I'm in the same boat. I think I don't know that I've done a sub 2 yet. I haven't recently. If I did, I don't remember if my other one has. I didn't put my time on it. I had a medal, but I didn't put my time on it. Andy, hello. Good evening to you. Paula, lost your focus. What does that mean? Angela, you had it cranked way up, and then all of a sudden it just kicked in. Maybe it was the internet connection, bringing the audio in slowly. So, Tammy, good evening to you. How are you? Good to see you. So, Tammy and I had a little bit of a confusion last night. She texted me, and if you text the show, it's a separate phone than it is to my cell phone, and I don't save the numbers in there, and I don't save the text. So, it gets confusing as to the conversations that go on in text. And then there are people like Tammy that has a couple different names depending on where she's at. So Tammy, good to see you here. Sorry for the crazy text last night, but I think we got it all sorted out. Let's see. Linda's here. Got you. Jane fell off the wagon for a few weeks, but you're back on again. That's the important thing. That's all that matters, you know. I mean, I don't really want you to fall off the wagon, but if you fall off, we're going to reach down and hand a hand out there and drag you up, you know. And so, as long as you keep checking in, we'll keep taking care of you. So, Jane, way to be here. Good job. Donna is from Floral Pack, Long Island, back in the house. Marty from Corpus Christi, good evening to you. Yeah, Ann, good evening. Hope your flights have been well. Ann's just been jet setting lately, all back and forth. So It's crazy. So Carrie said you ran your first one last month at 1 hour and 58 minutes, almost a 9-minute mile for you. That's incredible for 13 miles straight. So that's a goal, you know. Carrie's setting the pace over there on Instagram. Dean Dean says hi, Alesha. Bridget from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Good evening to you. Let's see. I know, Chris. That's what Christy said. Boring place, Johnstown, PA. Yeah, that's why I opted not to go. I'm kidding. Couldn't break away. Jenna, no rest for the weary. You are one dedicated man. I know everyone appreciate your commitment. Jenna, you know what it is? It's interesting. Jason, I'll get that in a second. Jenna, what's interesting is the thing I know about this journey is a big part of my success was having daily accountability. The meetings are great, but once a week I was able to forget about the meeting and lose focus during the week. So, I mean, my true intent is to do this thing daily so that you have something new daily to just remind your focus. So it's that level of commitment. I mean, because I made goal because of that daily focus, I want you to have the daily focus, and I want to help provide one of the tools for you to get there. So I appreciate you guys being here as well. Rochelle, hello. Denise says hello. I forget how to pronounce this. Ta, is it Ta? And then from Pula. Anyway, Ta is down 10% from. Last night you put it in phonetically, and I was able to read the phonetics, but I can't remember how to read it today. Jason, yeah. So I use a running watch. I use 2 different watches depending on what I'm doing. For my daily steps, I use my Nokia. This is my Nokia. It does my daily step tracking. But for running, I switch over to my Garmin. I have a Garmin Fenix 3 HR. That's what it's called, a Garmin Fenix 3 HR. So I use the Garmin for running. I like the GPS aspect of it. The Nokia isn't GPS enabled. It's simply a step tracker, and it does time and steps, which is pretty accurate, but the GPS is hands down better. Plus, my Garmin does live track. So I can set the Garmin to go, and then as I'm running, you can follow along on the internet. It gives you my heart rate and gives you my pace and distance and all that stuff. So the data, I mean, the price difference is astronomically different. So they're not even comparable in that regard. But so I use the Garmin Fenix 3 HR. I got it last year on a Black Friday sale. Got a super good deal on it on Black Friday. So we're coming up at that time of year. So keep an eye on what Garmin does for Black Friday. I'm not sure. But last year I got the Fenix 3 HR for cheaper than the Forerunner, just so you know. Dean, good evening. Paula lost focus for 4 weeks with the move to Florida. Now back on track. Well, so Paula, then as long as you don't move every month, you're going to be okay. A move to Florida is significant. It's reasonable to expect that you might be off track if you pack up everything in your house and you move. It's kind of reasonable to expect that. So don't worry about it. And now that you're settled in, you get back to new normal. And once you've redefined that, you keep going. Rochelle, I can't believe you get to join in live too. Yay. Good to see you. Kim, yeah, it's chilly in Indy tonight too. Kim's checking in from chilly Memphis, she said. Gail from Illinois. Jane's here. Audra from Cape Coral. Good evening, Florida. Let's see. Hershey, Nebraska. It has been a while. From Jeanette says Hershey, Nebraska. So every time I see Hershey, I just assume there was only one Hershey, and that was in Pennsylvania. But nope, there's a Hershey, Nebraska. Karen's here. Let's see. Brenda from Wisconsin. Devana from Albuquerque. Georgine, 2 more weeks and you'll be at Lifetime. Isn't that amazing? Congratulations. Can't wait to hear that email. Karen from Long Island. Now you can hear too. Trophy Club, Texas. Jennifer's here. Georgia is saying, I know we all say set small goals, but is giving up dessert for a month a big goal? Am I overdoing it here? That's an interesting question. If your plan is to just give it up for a month and then go back to the way you were before you gave it up, then that's probably not going to set you up for success. If you're going to give it up, then give it up. Otherwise, figure out how to work it into your plan and don't give it up. So you have two options, and that's what I do. Is I either figure out I'm either going to give this up completely, or I'm going to figure out how to handle it in moderation. And moderation may be once or twice a year. It could be once or twice a week. Depends on what you need to do. But if you're going to give it up only to reintroduce it fully later, the way you had it before, it's not going to work. So I hope that helps a little bit. Patricia tuning in from Ohio. Grand Junction, Colorado. Kaylin's here. It's funny, I'm getting Facebook, people right now are on the Facebook page commenting, and they're missing the fact that we're in here live. That's too bad. Des Moines, Iowa. Kristen, good evening to you. Vicky's checking in from Delaware. Angie says hi, Mike and all. Charlotte listened to you all day in the car. Very fun. Very fun. Yeah, so Alesha answers the question perfectly. So very, very cool. Marty, you're so welcome for all the encouragement, support. The support goes both ways, truly. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't get something out of it, so I get just as much out of it as you do, I believe, maybe even more. So it's a two-way street, so I appreciate that. Jennifer from Marietta, good evening. Let's see. Karen from Fort Wayne. Charlotte loves your skinny Fitbit. I had Fitbit for a while, and I gotta be honest with you, Fitbit was the one that I didn't. My Fitbit didn't last long enough, and so I just got tired of replacing it. And they do a great job replacing it. I just got tired of replacing it. So, let's see. Jennifer from Utah. Andy loves the Phoenix. Yep, I do too. So it was a good deal. Angie's going to the doctor tomorrow. Can't wait to see what your numbers are. That'll be fun to see. Krista from Kansas City. Good evening to you. Did you get the email, Krista? I think Krista's on the show tonight, right? Let's see. Oops, can't. I'm at the point where I can't use my glasses to read the screen, but I have to use them to read. Yeah, Charlotte, too much junk in the house, teens and husband. That's no excuse, but I get it. So, let's see. Sydney checking in from Texas. Good evening to you. Linda, I agree with that. I bet the numbers are going to be awesome when she checks in. Robin says, howdy, from Atlanta. You have a Fitbit that's waterproof since you're a swimmer, but it ain't that accurate, so open to suggestions for waterproof trackers. I think my Phoenix is a waterproof tracker, but the problem with the Phoenix, even though I love it, it's expensive. So the Apple Watches are waterproof now, right? The new ones, I think they're waterproof. My Nokia is waterproof. I've never swam with it from a standpoint. I don't know what it tracks when I swim. I haven't tried it, but it's waterproof. So you could try that one. So I don't know. I have to figure that out. That'll be a good show one night. I'll review activity trackers, right? It'll be kind of fun. Ray, hello from California. Liz checking in from California as well. Very cool. That's pretty funny. Paula says, Angie, once I lost your 50 pounds, your cholesterol labs were so much better that your doc sent you a note. Congratulations. Let's write that in the book. We got the book, right? Got the book out. Let's get that written down, because that's kind of fun. When your doctor actually writes you a note with your lab results, you know you've made a difference. So, let's get that. Getting it in the book. Good job, Paula. I didn't realize today's the 23rd. Good, fun stuff. All right, couple more, and then we'll get the show going. What time is it? 10:18. So, yeah, we'll get the show going. Kay out of Beaumont, Texas. Pastor Kim, good evening. Just got home from yoga. Very fun. Tuning in from Lincoln, Nebraska. Pastor Kim, it was fun to see you on the walk when we were walking. And we ended up, I don't know if you were there, we ended up finding recycle bins on the walk. So we recycled our water bottles after we threw the first one away. So that was kind of fun. Let's see. Dayton, Robin's checking in from Dayton. George trying to get up sugary things. Rockford, Illinois. Nebraska's again. Let's see. Miami, Ellen's checking in. Paula Hershey, PA. Got it. All right, let's see. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Alesha, that's pretty cool. Alesha says her husband was supportive and threw away the Frito bag yesterday when you wanted to eat the whole bag. You told him you were at a point. There's something pretty powerful about throwing it away. I like it. All right. Cool. Scrolling down to the bottom. All right, let's get this thing going. I know you guys, as much fun as it is to chat back and forth. I know many of us pop in. They actually want to see the show, so I get that. So let's get that going. We'll come back to the book after. So cool. Testing 1 2, mic check 1 2 3. Looks good. Let's see if it sounds good. Every once in a great while I have audio issues. One of these days I'm going to, even though I just got this microphone, I learned something, a little bit of buyer's remorse. It's not what I really wanted to get. This is, not that you need to know, but this is a USB microphone, so it plugs into a USB port. And I should have gotten one that doesn't do that. So, crazy story. All right, let's get cheers. All right, cheers. All right, that's done. Woo! Get that out of the way. Episode 131, WhysAdvice, coming right up. Here we go. Let's see. Get situated here. As you know, we start the show. I'll let you know I'm a Weight Watcher leader, obviously up here in Indianapolis, Indiana. But everything we're going to talk about in the next 40 minutes, strictly my opinion, my view, not at all implied or endorsed by Weight Watchers. Just wanted to share that with you. You'll hear that actually in the recorded version as well. But I want to make sure that we're clear there. Instagram, you ready? Facebook, you ready? Let's do episode 131. Here we go. I have this fear. Twice now, when we've done the show, we're on episode 131, but twice I've come back from the show, and I go back to the computer behind me. Everything gets recorded behind me on that computer, and I turn around, and it's just dead because it wasn't recording. So no problems now. It's recording. Perfect. I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. All right, time out. I hate when I do that. Megan! So, sorry about that. So, just before the show, so I'm in my I showed you before, I'm in my my office downstairs, and like 2 feet in front of me is the stairs to go upstairs. And just before the show, Megan walks in from this side and she goes, "Hey, have a good show, FatDag." And I said, "Thanks, Megan." She goes, "Just so you know, I will be repeating your opening line the whole time you're doing it." So as I started the show, I could hear those words in my head of her saying, "Have a good show, FatDag." And so I know as I opened the show and I said, "I'm your host, FatDag, you're listening to WhysAdvice," she's probably laying up in her bed and she's probably going, "I'm your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice." So you want to hear her do the opening of the show one time? She could do it from memory. So, all right, so sorry about that. But as I was doing it, I could hear her little voice in my head, and it just made me smile. So, caught me off guard. So that's a live show. I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 131 of WhysAdvice. And once again, got about a week left on the Nokia Health thermometer deal. 20% off right now if you go to health.nokia.com. This thing's awesome. The thermal supports up to 8 users. It really is fun for kids to see their names to pop up, and it's helpful that when everyone's down for the count and feeling yucky, the names appear right on the device and in the app. The measurements are synced automatically to your app, making it easy to email a pediatrician. And best of all, it works with a Thermia app, which gets advice from Boston Children's Medical Hospital with reports and best practices based on age and symptoms. You also get reminders and input symptoms for more complete info. What all that means is I've tested this thing out. It's exactly right. Your name shows up on the thermometer. You can scroll through. You can choose everyone in your house. You can tell whose data it's going to. I'm telling you, I wish I had this when Megan was younger because it really would have been a game changer. I could have just scanned her forehead without waking her up. It would have been a lot easier. So we'll still use it. We like it. It's it's a great device right now till October 31st. 20% off at health.nokia.com. I'll put a link in the show notes for you to find it there. But go out and check them out. They're a big supporter of me. They publish my blog, in France and Germany and Japan and, of course, the United States. So they support me, so I support them, and it's an honor to help them cover the cost of this show. And shout out to all those of you on Patreon who's doing that as well. So the show is either user-supported and or ad-supported, and it's a combination of both. So thank you for being here, all of you who are providing the support. Out of Kansas City, Krista writes in and says, "Dear Mike, I've always heard people talk about the aha moments they have in their life. I've rarely experienced moments like that, but today, listening to your show number 130, I had such a moment. The statement you made was, before losing weight, the lifestyle we've built is what puts us overweight. You then discussed how it's one whole lifestyle's mentality that creates lasting change, lasting health, and lasting success. The reason this stuck with me so hard is the ultimate truth of that. I've been following the plan mostly, but I haven't changed my lifestyle mindset yet. I've always had a rough relationship with food, never really taking time to cook properly, eating meals on the fly, rarely savoring my meals, never having much healthy food on hand, being very haphazard with what I eat and drink, treating food like a mood stabilizer, binging, restricting, etc. So the planning and cooking part of Weight Watchers still eludes me. I'm only into the program about 1 month, and I've been doing quick foods like Greek yogurt, lean cuisines, and staying within the points, but just eating crap like grabbing 6 Triscuits, albeit tracking them, instead of a healthy choice. Can you please drill down more on your profound statement, the lifestyle we've built is what puts us overweight, in an upcoming show? I'm heading off to weigh in and to my meeting. Thank you, Mike. Krista out of Kansas City. Well, Krista, thank you for your email. It's really fun when you get to your point in your life when those aha moments pop in and you recognize them. But I'd venture to say that these moments have popped in your life before, but if your mind's not ready to hear them, then you kind of just dismiss them as just not really getting your attention. I'm glad this got your attention at this point. This is why it's so important for everyone to write in, because our journeys are all so similar. We can learn so much from each other. Nothing I say is earth-shattering. Nothing people write in is so severe that no one else has experienced it. But it's all relatable to each other. So Krista, as she writes in and says, because of that email, she was able to figure out her aha moment. And the reason that it struck you so hard is that it is true. If you build a lifestyle, and I saw a post on Connect that said that, your lifestyle, basically determines what kind of body style you're going to have. And so if you think about that, and what I mean by your lifestyle is if you live a sedentary life and you don't get any activity and you're constantly eating junk food and you're eating the unhealthy choices, your body's going to reflect that. If you do just the opposite, if you start taking care of it, you get a little exercise in, you do some strength training on occasion, you get a little more steps than normal, you kind of just keep an eye on that stuff, you make healthier choices, then that lifestyle will then take care of and reward your body, and it's going to completely change how you look and feel about everything else. Now, what you're doing is fine. You're working the plan perfectly. You're 1 month into it. We don't expect you to, on the very first month, to all of a sudden go from having an unhealthy lifestyle to 30 days later, it's boom, I'm a perfect, specimen for what the program looks like. It's a gradual transition. And so you're in 1 month into it. You're doing just fine because you're stuck with the program. That's the goal for 1 month. The 1 month goal is to say, I'm still here. That's why we have the 4-week charm saying, hey, you've been doing this for 4 weeks, to give you the keychain. So you're doing the right things. The beauty of following the plan to the best of your ability and tracking everything you eat and stopping eating points when you run out of points, that is where you're now slowly going to get the education to learn how to do this and change your life and change your lifestyle. So as you track everything, if you want Triscuits, you can have Triscuits. You just got to put them in the tracker. At some point, you're going to get to the end of a day and you're going to get to the point where you say, I want to have dinner, and you're going to look at your tracker is going to be out of points. And if I've asked you now to, when you're out of points, stop eating points, and you get to 5 p.m. and you're out of points, you look back at your tracker, you look at everything you put in there, you see those Triscuits, and you say, man, if I wouldn't have had those Triscuits, I could have dinner right now. So the beauty of tracking and stopping when you're out of points, that is what now teaches you that the next day, when it comes time to have the Triscuits, if you want them, you can have them. But what you need to remember is that having them means you need to make a sacrifice somewhere else. And sometimes that means the sacrifice is I don't have to have dinner or don't get to have dinner. So as you continue to work the plan, the important thing you need to do is keep tracking everything that you're doing. Stop eating points when you're out of points. And then slowly, as you review your tracker from the day before every day, you will start to develop a healthy palette of eating and exercise that will carry you to goal. So if you think about it, I'm going to cover this in another email because I got 2 emails on the same subject. But Krista, hang on for the next email and I'll dig a little deeper into what I mean when the healthy lifestyle that you've built is what puts us overweight. But the gist is it's your habits. It's what you do daily that is what's going to what's going to define your lifestyle, and then of course that puts us overweight if we're not doing it right. Great job heading off to weigh in. Great job attending your meeting. So Krista, thank you for your email. Have a good evening here. We'll go into Kathy's email out of North Carolina, which will dig deeper. Kathy says, "Hi Mike, during last night's Facebook after show, the topic of online-only membership came up. At that time, I had shared that I'm an online-only member, and I've lost 129 pounds so far. I've got 13 pounds to reach the goal weight that my doctor set up for me. Wow, I just realized how close I am to that milestone. Once I reach that milestone, I'll determine if I have that feeling on whether or not I still want to lose more weight. Somehow I think I will want to continue the journey to get to the weight where I feel that I don't want to lose weight anymore. Anyhow, I'm getting off track. During the after show, you had expressed an interest in what tools I use being an online-only member. Here's a summary of what I've learned and practiced during my journey. I hope this information helps my fellow online users. You have to be deeply connected to your why. This is important for everyone. As an online-only user, you need to cling to your why like a life preserver. In my case, health and the cost of health care was my why. I was at a high risk to having a heart attack or a stroke, plus my diabetes was not well controlled. My dad died at the age of 47 and my mom at the age of 64. Both had high blood pressure, past heart attacks, and their premature passing was a direct result of their poor lifestyle choices. I don't want to die prematurely. I want to retire on my own timetable, not because my health forced me to. Connect with your why, folks. It's your life preserver to keep you afloat during your journey. Never let go of it. I don't rely 100% on the Weight Watchers application. I use the website access frequently, especially in the beginning. In the living section, there are great topics including how the plan works, how tracking helps you lose weight, how Simply Filling works, how to use the app, and the information about a variety of food choices. If you have a question about the plan, it's likely you will find the topic here. From the tracker page at the bottom is a link to the weekly topic and a pamphlet that is given to the meeting members. Since finding this information, I feel more connected to the plan and I learn something new each week. Being honest with your tracking is a key tool. You have to be honest with yourself. For me, I practice the ABCs. All bites count. This is important for all of us, but as an online-only user, it is a cornerstone tool. If I'm lying to myself, there isn't anyone to call me out. To replace the meeting accountability you get at the weigh-in, I post my weekly weigh-in results each Sunday. I use this to reflect what went well, what didn't go well. If things didn't go well, I make a pledge of what I'm going to do differently. To replace the support that you get from making friends at the meetings, I lean on my Connect tribe. In the beginning, those that I had followed like you, Kelly, Todd, Mud Hustler, Zumba Jane, and Steve, as my weight loss journey progressed, I've now got my own following. By the way, on Connect, I'm known as Kathy NC2 if anyone wants to follow my journey. Also, for support, I confided in a small handful of friends that I had started this journey, and of course, my husband is my biggest supporter in the beginning. After I had lost about 25 pounds, I went public. During our quarterly office meetings, I would share how much weight I'd lost thus far. What a great feeling to have 80 people clap and cheer you on. This has replaced the milestone celebrations at the meetings. Of course, everyone's working environment may not be as supportive as mine. Since going public, others have started their own weight loss journey to improve their health. Being a role model has helped me maintain the loss I've had thus far. Overall, find your support team. They're out there. All you need to do is ask. My last tool in my toolkit is that I people watch. No, I'm not a stalker. I pay attention to how thinner people behave and I try to emulate that behavior. For example, I notice how thinner people order meals out, how they make time for physical activity, how they shop. By doing this, I've learned how to tear down my unhealthy habits and build new healthy habits. The rest of my tools are really about the how, measuring, pre-planning, using the blue dot, scheduling physical activity, how I deal with nighttime munchies, etc. My how is not any different than what meeting members do. We all figure out the how that works for us. I've been working the Weight Watchers lifestyle since February 2015, not my first time doing Weight Watchers, but the first time as an online-only user, and definitely the last time that I will need to do this. This time around, the whole process feels different to me, mostly because I figured out my why and I believe in myself. I've removed doubt out of my belief system. I know that the scale will reach goal. From a mindset, I've made a complete 180-degree transformation to my health. That is my best achievement of all. I wish you and everyone good focus. Kathy out of North Carolina. Kathy, congratulations on such an amazing email. As I went through here and read it before the show, it was one of those emails that just makes me go, yeah, this person gets it. And clearly you're down 129 pounds, so it's obvious that you get it. But I can see a little deeper than 129-pound weight loss. I can see a goal mindset that you've talked about. It starts very deeply with your why. You have an understanding of your why that is very crucial to your success, and that's keeping you fueled. Way to go. Way to get it done. Extremely sorry to hear about the early passing of your father and, of course, your mother as well. Both passed with high blood pressure, heart attacks. Those are clues to your life that you picked up on, and you realized you didn't want to repeat them. Not wanting to die prematurely, that's a pretty strong why. Being able to retire on your own timetable, that's something you can control. It's not that your health forced you to, that you got so connected to your why that you figured out that nothing else was more important than that. You've made your own meeting. You've figured out the website, the tools that are available. I would venture to say that there's a bunch of people that didn't even know those tools existed on the bottom of the website. So here we are, we're paying for this service, and we don't even take we don't take the time to go through and find out all of the tools and resources that are available to us. I appreciate you pointing them out, because even I didn't know a couple of them were out there. I didn't know that you could get the weekly topic from the Weight Watcher website. How bad of me for not even knowing that, but you pointed out, so thank you for doing that. You've now made your own meeting, and that is, again, fueling your success. You started off, you found the right support system. You found people who inspired you. The folks you named off are incredibly inspiring. They're working the program. They're getting it done. They're doing the best they can do in the environment. And as you started your journey, it was incredibly important to see that the success that you were after was absolutely possible. As you started getting that success, you turned into the prize. You turned into the inspiration, not only in your office environment, but on Connect as well. Other people started seeing your success, and they said, yeah, I want part of that. And that all became possible because you went public. You went public with your journey, but the confidence to be able to do that let me know that at the 25-pound mark, you hit goal mentally. So in your weight loss journey, as you're working the plan, as you're down 129 pounds, at the 25-pound loss point, when you decided that it was time to let everyone know in your office that you were doing this, that you were losing weight, that is when you made goal. That is when your mind said, I'm doing this, and I'm going to get it done no matter what. We're now just waiting for the scale to catch up. And you have a series of hows that are getting it done. There is no wrong way to do this. There's so many different things you can do. Measuring, pre-plan. Not everyone does that. Some people do, some people don't. Some people use a blue dot, some people don't. Some people use a variation of the blue dots. Some people work out, some people don't. The how does not matter if you know why you're doing it. If you know why you're doing it, you'll develop a list of hows that'll help you get it done. My favorite tool in your toolkit is the people watching part of it, because I do it too. I pay attention as well to thinner people as I was losing weight. And a couple things I noticed is, sure, it all happens. There's no one size fits all type deal. But, if you think about walk through, a typical grocery store, and generally speaking, the folks who are eating food inside the grocery store are not the thinner people. Generally, the folks who, when they order out, and you can tell just by listening, that thinner people, they order slightly different. Now, I had the luxury, my wife and daughter, both are very healthy, and so their habits are completely different than mine. And so I had the luxury of having them right here, and I had been able to witness them before, but I ignored it for such a long time because I was doing my own thing. But now that I've made Goal in Lifetime, I do pay attention to their habits, and I do see all the clues that I missed so many times before. But as you look, success leaves clues as what they say. Success is the point where my leader Terry says it, find what successful people do and do that. Right? Don't follow someone who's not having success. You want to be there for them. Sure, and you can follow in that regard. You can follow them so you can understand what they're doing, so you can help them. But if you want to have success, you got to find someone who's had success. Find someone who's reached goals. Find someone who's maintained lifetime. And that's what I continue to do. I start looking for folks who are at lifetime 2, 3, 4, 5 years so I can start watching how they handle it. I start seeing that strength training plays a much bigger role for me in my journey. So thank you so much for sharing everything that you shared, Kathy. It's very incredible to talk to someone and to hear from someone who's an online-only member who's made Goal with 129-pound weight loss with just a handful of pounds to go. I would caution you to do a little more research at this point. In order for you to take advantage of the free lifetime part of the program, you have to lose your weight in the meeting room. So I would encourage you, not that I want you to get into the meeting room, that's not what I'm trying to do, but if hitting Lifetime and being a free member of Lifetime is important to you, you need to double check on the rules for that so that you know exactly what you're signing yourself up for to get it done. Great job. So proud of you. Congratulations on hitting Goal. Next up, Lee writes in and says, Dear FatDag, do you have 98,000 podcasts left to fill with my story? Probably not, so I'll give you the semi-abridged version. Every aspect of my life has been changed from the events that transpired on April 26, 1985, when I was struck head-on riding my bike home from school, before the days of helmets. I endured a traumatic brain injury, 138 days in the hospital, and much more than that could be explained ad nauseum, but I will try to keep it brief. This is the one time in my life when I weighed too little. My doctors had me on Ensure to fatten me up because I dropped 15% of my weight in the span of a few weeks. The short story is I survived, obviously, and went on to 7th grade in a wheelchair because my body was now unable to function in a normal mode. Because the left side of my body was only semi-functional, getting activity was close to impossible. I did swim, however, something I'd done since kindergarten, competitive swimming, and workouts 5 days a week. And life went on similarly through high school too. Then came college when I discovered the ease of sitting on my butt and having pizza arrive at my door. This was the start of my weight problem. When the freshman 15 doubled for me to 30 or more, and again, the years go on and on. Fast forward to 2009, when I was over 300 pounds still. I joined Weight Watchers October 20th, 2009, and I attended meetings with my friend who weighed a similar amount, lost it, but gained much of it back. I was 309 at my day one weigh-in. That was an eye-opener, to say the least. I could not walk comfortably, use the stairs without holding the handrail, and many other daily tasks that are usually taken for granted. in April 2016, 6 years, 6 months after joining, I hit goal, which was 200 pounds. My leader forgot to tell me about maintenance. As such, I was still eating less smart points and continued losing. Keep in mind that I also increased my activity because I gained confidence to walk on the streets and sidewalks. As I said earlier, I was hit the first time in 1985 and 8 more times since then. Needless to say, I was scared of car number 10 making impact with me, and I avoided the sidewalks. But one day, I was literally across the street from my Weight Watchers Center, and I told myself, Lee, it's just a crosswalk. What is going to happen that has not happened already? 6 weeks after hitting goal, I became a lifetime member. My weigh-in day was Sundays at 10 a.m. This is when my friend and I mentioned earlier, and I attended. She moved at some point, and I, who does not drive, got a ride with another person who needed to be at the 8:30 a.m. meeting. I already had a Weight Watcher family at 10 o'clock, so I stuck with both meetings. Sometime in there, I was away on a Sunday, and I saw my leader did Wednesday mornings also. So I joined that group too. I now attend 3 meetings regularly, and sometimes more each week. I applied for a job as a receptionist at my Weight Watchers Center. Unfortunately, I did not get the job. It is the job for me, not just a job. I am determined to keep trying until I get hired. Although I did not get hired yet, I did further along in the hiring process than any other job in the past decade. Just like the journey, keep on traversing the path. Currently, I see my role in Weight Watchers at meetings, on Connect, and anywhere else I can as to help my fellow Weight Watchers members achieve their goal. I have been massively successful, and I see it as my duty to help others achieve the same success on their journey. Starting weight 309, goal weight 209, current weight 186.8 pounds. Lee, what an amazing story. I've had the honor to get to know you. You pop in on the Facebook Live, and you're here now as I'm reading this, and I see some of your comments pop through. I can tell you're an incredibly inspirational dude. I don't know how many people who've gone through what you've gone through would care enough about their self at this point to make the change that you did. So it's an incredible honor to sit here and chat with you back and forth, and to hear your story. And I remember when you emailed in many months ago, I read it, and it caught me off guard, because I had to be honest, I don't know how to answer what you've gone through, because it's absolutely something that, one, I've never gone through, and something I never even heard of. But what I know now about your journey is that your journey, as amazing as it is very similar to everyone else's journey as we walk this. And it's that point in your life when you say, I want to do this. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. If you're determined to get this done, and you find the right support network, you find the right tools, you absolutely can get it done. Now, one of the things that I laughed at in your email was said you discovered the ease of sitting on your butt and having pizza arrive at the door. Man, we are our own worst enemies when it comes to that, aren't we? So I wish, I would rebrand, this whole program, and I would say, let's call it food school. Because when we're living at home, we're kind of taught how to eat in some regard. And then all of a sudden we go off to college, and we have to now figure it out. And the one thing they don't teach you in college is how to eat properly. But what they do teach you is that you pick up the phone, you dial a number, and boom, 30 minutes later, a pizza arrives at your door. So for many of us, then the weight gain actually starts around the college years. Because that's the point where we have to now figure this out on our own, and we aren't equipped to do it properly. In your case, that was the start of your weight problem as well. The freshman 15 doubled to the freshman 30, all the way up to 309 pounds. that didn't stop you. With all the things you have going in your life, with all the challenges, with all the accidents that you've had, you understood that 309 pounds was not the way to live a healthy life. You found a meeting room. You found an amazing leader, apparently. And so you sit through that meeting and you understand now that you need a little more than just the one meeting a week. But I venture to say the folks in your meeting room need you as well. As you continue to tell and share your story of the adversity that many people have not even begun to even experience, and you still were able to get it done, is incredibly inspiring. I'm honored again to talk to you. The fact that you've applied to be a job as a Weight Watcher receptionist, I understand exactly where you say this is not just a job, it is the job. It's the same way I feel about being a leader in the meeting room. I feel like this is something that once I've reached goal, something I didn't know was possible, I wanted nothing more than to reach back to any single person who's interested in finding out about what goal looks like, what goal feels like, and just tell them that, hey, they can do it. Lee, I watch you every night as we do the live show on Facebook, and you're one of the most positive, most encouraging people that's in the room. And it's certainly no disrespect to the rest of the room, but you stand out in this room as someone who understands that we need the support. We need to work together to get this done. And I've always seen that you reach out your helping hand and you show folks that you absolutely can get it done. I tell you, if you lived in Indianapolis, you absolutely would be welcome as a receptionist in my meeting room. I don't have that authority. I wish I did. But from what I've seen, you have the highest recommendation I can give. I wish you the best of luck with that. I wish you'd continued focus on everything else you do. Keep up the amazing work, Lee. We will see you online for many, many days to come, I'm sure. Alesha writes in and says, FatDag, I am no longer in the obese BMI category. I am 35 pounds down. I finally went clothes shopping. The first time I went while I was on Weight Watchers, it was disappointing. Well, not this time. I've gone from busting out of a size 14 pants and a large shirt to a size 10 and a small shirt. Thanks for all your support and service to the weight loss community and to our country. Seeing success stories like yours makes me confident that I'll get to lifetime too. With much gratitude, Alesha. Alesha, congratulations. 35 pounds down did not happen by accident. You went from a 14 down to a 10 in a small shirt. You did that. You did it by staying focused. You did it by being very disciplined. You did it by understanding that more than anything, you wanted to get healthy. You wanted to completely change your life. And in order to change your life, you had to change your life. I can relate completely to the clothes shopping thing. If you saw my post a couple days ago, it'll be gone by the time this hits the air, but my wife and I went shopping the night because she needed new clothes. She ended up buying a shirt. I ended up buying a jacket, 2 shirts, and a pair of shoes. So I love clothes shopping now. I hated it forever because at some point I was only able to wear what fit, not what I liked, not what looked good. I would see clothes on the rack. I remember more than once trying them on and hating how it looked on me. I liked the shirt. I just hated how it looked on me, so I would refuse to buy it. So the things I had to buy was whatever fit, not what was on trend, not what was on style. When I finally got to goal, I can pick out anything off the rack, and I like it. So that is why clothes shopping finally becomes fun. I'm glad to see that you're experiencing it as well. I can tell you it gets better and better and better. The more you stay at goal, the more you stay at lifetime, the more you continue to push to whichever goals you set for yourself, because you absolutely can get there. You'll know that you've done it. You've taken control of your life, and you have made the change that you've wanted this entire time. And when you get there, we celebrate. Celebrating is the part of this journey that is the most fun. Celebrating is the part that shows other folks that what you're trying to do is possible. As you celebrate, someone else right now is hearing that story and saying, man, I didn't know that was possible. I hate clothes shopping, but maybe I can get to the point where I like it again. Maybe. So that's the power of this community. That's the power of us all coming together, sharing our stories so that we can celebrate. Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com. Click on the Listen Now tab. Send in your celebrations, your comments, and your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can also email in at onair@fatdag.com. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be very proud of what you're doing. That pride lets the world know that you're getting it done. It lets the world know that you're at goal. It lets somebody else know that they too can have the same success that you're having. Isn't that what we're all after? You get to define success. You get to figure out what feels right, what looks good. And when you get there, you reach back and you find someone else who's walking this journey and you say, you can do it. I believe you can do it. I believe in you. Because I believe in you and the Connect community. We all believe in each other. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. How fun was that? Lee, what a cool email, huh? All kinds of good emails. You guys just fill my inbox with amazing stuff. We have such an amazing community. It's incredible. It's just incredible. So thank you for being here. Thanks for your emails. Let's see what I missed over here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back. Ann says episode 131 is in the books. I forgot to say that. Episode 131 is in the books. Very fun. I think sometimes, Lee, I'm scrolling back to see a couple comments here. But I think, one of the things that's really tough about the show that I do, obviously, is that I get a lot of email. There's a lot of amazing stories, and I don't do a lot of work picking and choosing. I kind of go in order, but I try and read every email that comes in just to see if it's something that I need to address quicker or let it sit in the queue. But the queue sometimes, it backs up. And so what I tell folks is that if you're going to email in, which I want you to do, you have to then stay very strong mentally until I can get your podcast or your episode on the podcast, because it's going to take me a month or two, maybe 3. And unfortunately, there may be a chance that I don't get to it for a while. And so, but that period of time, you need to be very strong. And then when it gets out, like it did today with Lee, when it finally makes it to the air, it's like, I needed that right at the right time. So very fun. Over on Instagram, Ann says, I just found your podcast today. Totally podcast illiterate. I love it. Thank you. So, Ann, if you don't already get the app, go to your app store, search for WhysAdvice, WHYS, WhysAdvice, and get the app. That's the easiest way to listen to the show. There's a bunch of other ways. It's on iHeartRadio. It's in Stitcher Radio. It's on Facebook. It's in YouTube. But the app actual app for the show is hands down the easiest way to listen to the show. Instagram, you're going to time out in a minute 14, so I'm going to let you guys go, and then we'll finish up on Facebook, for another couple minutes, and then go from there. But thank you, all of you on Instagram, for being here. Always an honor to walk this journey with you. I wish you the best of focus as you work your own journey. Let's see. Scrolling through the Facebook stuff. Marie's asking, can you help when you're out of points? Does that include weeklies? Yes, it does. Maria, when you're out of points, that's weeklies, dailies, and if you are a person that uses your fit points, that's the same thing. You get to make the determination of how many of your weeklies you want to eat. You get to make the determination of how many of your fit points you want to eat. The point is you set the limit. When you reach your limit, stop eating points. If your limit for you is your fit points and your weeklies, then yes, use them. I don't encourage you to use your weeklies. Your fit point, your weeklies. I do. I don't encourage you to use your fit points if you're in the weight loss mode. I like to save them until I'm in the lifetime mode, because then that point you're choosing healthier foods with them normally. So Instagram, good night. I'll restart Instagram. I want to restart Instagram. I wish Instagram allowed me to go a little longer. That's kind of crazy. So, all right, we're back on Instagram, so we'll see if those people join back in. We'll see. But anyway, so Maria, when you're out of points, you define what that point value is. That's what's going on there. Jody says, that was great. I needed this. I'm having trouble with cookies today. Throwing them out now. Yes, throw them out. It's very, you don't need them. You already paid for them, so the money's gone. You're not going to get the money back by eating them, so it's just throw them away. You're not going to take them in for a refund. So you have two choices: throw them away or eat them. I'm not a big fan of eating them, but let's see. Kathy, you're very welcome. Thank you for writing in your email. Diane, I agree with you. Very, very good stuff. Lee has a number thing. I can't figure out. Lee always knows all the prime numbers. Yo, over on Instagram. Chris is checking in. Good evening to you. Source Films 8K. Chris and I are buddies from Indianapolis area, and he does some amazing video footage stuff. So good to see you, Chris, as always. Cheryl says, thank you. I was having a stressful day and had a little binge, but I'm inspired by the show and feel like you'll be back on track tomorrow. I can do this. Cheryl, you're actually back on track now, right? So one of the things that's the hardest for us to understand is that we need to sleep on it to wake up on plan. But the second you put your fork down, you're on plan. It's just a then decision to what you're going to do next. So, every time you put the fork down, you're back on track. It's when you pick it back up, you say, okay, am I going to stay on track or not? So use that as an analogy. Maria, thank you for that. Let's see. So Maria says that you never use fit points, but you do use weekly. So yeah. So again, the fit points piece, unless you're, it's just my opinion, right? Unless you're at goal, and working out a lot, then I wouldn't be eating your fit points. But it's your plan. They're there. You can figure out the thing I always caveat everything I say with is if you like the results you're getting, keep doing what you're doing. So if you're eating your dailies, you're eating your weeklies, and you're eating your fit points, and you like the results you're getting, keep doing that. If you don't like the results you're getting, then at that point you need to make a change. So, Kristen, celebrating your papa's birthday this week, the one that passed away this year. Very cool. Happy birthday for sure. Very cool. Let's get that written down, Jody. Back to the book. So I got to number the pages, but we got a lot of good stuff in here. Let's see. Jody. I put Jody threw away cookies on Facebook Live. Yay, team. That is very powerful. It's pretty powerful. Yeah, Ellen makes a very good point that, fruit are 0 points and you can reach for a pickle with no points. So fruit and a lot of vegetables too. So, so when you're out of points, stop eating points doesn't mean stop eating. It means when you just stop eating points. Jeannie's back after a bad weekend, back on track. Congratulations. And Lee says Lee, you got that from an episode that I said earlier, right? Is I asked people at the scale, this is the funnest part of being a leader. As folks walk in, to the meeting room. I said, how was your week? And they almost always say, well, we'll see in a minute. And I'm like, no, this 5 seconds on the scale should not define your entire week. So I always ask how your week was. Cheryl says, thank you. Having you talk directly to me and your sincerity means so much. Thank you, Cheryl, because I agree that, it takes focus. And, the piece missing for me, the meeting room is very powerful, but the piece missing on Connect was the actual connect part. So I try, I'd be honest with you, it's very difficult for me to even today make connections, because there's just so many people and so many, if I were to turn all of my notifications on my phone, I'm pretty confident that it would be a notification a minute, and so I have to turn almost all my notifications off. No notifications from Facebook, no notifications from Twitter, nothing from Instagram. As an experiment, I probably should just turn them all on and just, push notifications and just watch and see how many, how often the notifications come in. And so it would completely disable my phone. So because of that, it makes it difficult to actually connect. So this hour or so we spend together is very instrumental for me, because I really try to then at this point engage. But even then, there's 100 people right now. I can't remember all the names, and I just remember bits and pieces of stories. But it doesn't mean I don't care. It just means my brain doesn't have the capacity to memorize it all. Janet, it's true though, right? That as soon as you put your fork down, you're on plan, because you've stopped eating at that point. So it's the next time you pick it up that you have to decide, am I going to stay on plan or not? You can be back on plan in the middle of a dinner. As soon as you put that down, you're like, okay, I'm on plan. You pick it back up, you're like, okay, so that's the mindset. You don't need to this isn't rocket science. You don't need to overthink it. And there's no perfect mentality. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just got to want it. Yeah, Jody, awesome. Donna says, I still have a little devil on my shoulder saying, I can't do this. I'm down 47 pounds and still have that whisper in my ear. Help. Donna, 47 pounds. Did you wake up accidentally 47 pounds down? No. You've been focused. You made that happen. So what do you mean you can't do it? You're doing it. There's no can't about it. You're doing it. I don't know how else to rephrase it. What do you mean you can't? You're 47 pounds down. You can. You did. You are. There's no can't about it. So it's that it's like that post I put on Connect the other day, right? I said something along the lines of, do you believe you can do this? Yes or no? And and I said this in 2 episodes ago, is that if you said anything but yes, then your brain is now going, that self-doubt will kill you. You got to believe with every fiber in your body that you can do this. And if you've lost 47 pounds, then clearly you can do this, because you did. Yeah, Alesha, I don't know if my phone would explode or not. It would. It wouldn't explode. I bet you it would be. I bet you it would not be too many minutes between notifications. I wouldn't be able to do anything with the phone other than read the notifications. So, Marty, awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Lee's story was pretty amazing, wasn't it, April? Very, very fun. Maria, good night to you. Let's see, I'm scrolling through. Very cool. Looks like we made it to the bottom. So, yeah, I like that. I'm going to end on that, Angie. Angie says, I'm at goal in my mind, just waiting on the scale to catch up. If you're doing this program properly, the last thing in the world to know that you're at goal will be your scale. That's how it works. You'll be the one that morning, you'll hop on, you'll tell the scale, it'll tell you whatever, you say, yep, that's goal, and your scale goes, oh, okay, I had no idea. Don't work to get a number on the scale. Work to get the the feeling of I'm at goal. I feel good. This is exactly what I want to look like. This is what I want to feel like. Whatever number that is, write it down. That's goal. That's how the program works. Don't do it the other way around. Don't try and chase a number. Imagine if your goal and was to get down to, let's just say around easy number of, 200 pounds, let's just say, in Lee's scenario, right? And so he started at 309 and he's working to get 200 pounds. If he got to 201, is that a failure? No, it's very, very good. And then in his case, once he freed up the mind, he pushed back to 170 or 186, which is incredible work. So don't chase a number, chase a feeling, chase a healthy lifestyle. If you chase a healthy lifestyle, everything else falls into place. Casey out of Rochester, New York, good evening to you. I've restarted the Instagram feed, so we're almost done, but good to see you out of Rochester, New York. 4 weeks post-baby and rejoined last week. Welcome. Congratulations on the birth of your child. Enjoy those years. It's an amazing, amazing time having little ones in the house. It's fun. So, all right. So have a good night. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's late. Let's get the show published. As you know, it takes me another almost an hour or so to get the editing done and get it up in the air, and I want to do that and then call it a night. So thank you for being here. It's completely my honor to walk this journey with you. I like I said, as I open the show, I get just as much out of this as you guys do. So thank you for being my support team. Thank you for being my wingman as we walk this journey. It's focus. I want this more than anything. I'm going to maintain it. I want you to follow me. I want you to join me. And together we hit lifetime and we live happily ever after. So thank you all for being here. Have a great night. Tuesday night is my hardest night of all the nights to do the show because of my meeting schedule. So I don't know that we'll be back tomorrow night, but you never know. I'm on a roll. Let's see how we do. So have a good night. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. I wish you all good focus.